So the first concept that you have in physics in class 12th is this concept called charges. Now the basic important points regarding charges is, number one, how is charge created? Charge can be created either by excess of electrons in a material, that means electrons come from outside and go into the material, or by withdrawal or insufficient number of electrons in the material. If there are excess of electrons, then the material acquires a negative charge, and if there are insufficient number of electrons, then the material acquires a positive charge. That is the first and most important point about charge. Now the second thing, how can charges be produced in a material? So there are two possible ways. One way is friction, that is, if you rub things against each other, you can often see when a train moves over a rail track, there are some sparks coming out, that is production of charges. Similarly, when you take away your woolen clothes in winter, you see some sparks coming out, that's again charges. So that is produced by friction, by rubbing of things against each other. Another way is induction, which is a more sophisticated way. In this case, we don't touch the materials for whom we want to transfer charge, but they get transferred somehow. So that is called as induction. Okay. Now the third point about charges is the fact that charges are always quantized. Okay. So charges, any charge Q can be written as to be n into E, where n is a integer and E is the charge on an electron. The next important thing about charges is the conservation of charges. What does conservation of charges says? It says that charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one material to another. We can take one example. We know that sodium Na and chlorine Cl, they combine to form an ionic compound called NaCl. In this reaction, actually Na loses one electron and becomes +1 charge. Cl gains one electron and becomes negative charge. So charge is neither created nor destroyed. It is only transferred from sodium to chlorine, and chlorine becomes negatively while sodium becomes positively charged. So this is a very good example of law of conservation of charges. Okay. Now a problem that we can do related to this charges is, which is often asked in the CBSE exams, is what is the basic cause of quantization of charges? Okay. What is the basic cause of quantization of charges? This example we can look at. What is actually happening? How is charge being created on sodium and chlorine? It is only being created because of transfers of electron. Okay. So charge is, remember, always created when electron is being transferred from one point to another point. Now if electrons are being transferred from one point to another point, that basically means that there will be some integral number of electrons being transferred from one point to another. What I am saying is Q will always be equal to Ne, because there will be always either 1 electron, 2 electron, 3 electron, and so on and so forth. Number of electrons will be transferred. So it is because of transfer of electrons. So that is the basic cause why charges are all quantized. Now one common error that I see students making is the fact that for example, if I am written here, it is Na plus 1. Okay, we know that the unit of charge is coulomb. Okay, so if it is Na plus 1, it doesn't mean that sodium is carrying 1 coulomb of charge. That's not right. Okay, what it actually means is that Q is equal to 1 into E, that's equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb, because E is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So please don't misunderstand. Don't think that sodium is carrying a 1 coulomb of charge. It is actually carrying this much charge. The plus 1 only means that it has lost 1 electron.